Labas vakaras, everyone. Welcome back to the ESCBubble channel. In this video, we're going to be discussing all of the 10 finalists of rebranded Lithuania's national selection, Eurovizija.lt. My name is Ervin, and joining me in this video are Joe, Nikola, and David. We're going to start off with Žalvarinis and their song Gaudė, vējai.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorites, to be honest. I kind of like their voices. I think it's a bit different to what we've seen from Lithuania of late. And I love the kind of folky influences, the instrumentation. I just think it's kind of cool. It's completely different to everything else we have in the final. And I think that it's really nice to see Lithuania embracing that kind of folky side to Lithuanian music that is actually there's quite a big music scene, right, of folk in the Baltics. And it's not something that we ever see really perforate the Eurovision bubble. So whilst I don't think it's going to win, I think it's a really nice addition to the final. It's probably one of the only ones that has a melody that I would like to listen to again. So no, I like it. It's good. And they have nice voices.
I do agree with you, David. I really love the song and I love the music in it. The folky vibe is on point, and it's something which we haven't heard from Lithuania before. So it would be nice to have it on Eurovision Song Contest, but I'm not sure whether they will be managing to win the show. Anyways, it's a song which I would be gladly listen again in any point further. So all in all, it's definitely full with lovely music. Also, the dancing is on point and everything is more or less nice and quite enjoyable, if you ask me.
Let's turn that into points. David?
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'll go with 8. Joe?
For me, it's a 5.
Nikola?
7.
The second act we're going to talk about is VB Gang and their song Kaboom. So I'm pretty sure that all three of you can confirm that I normally go for the odd performances and the strange entries. And from the moment that this song started, it caught my interest immediately and I wanted to like it. However, I lost that interest very quickly. I felt that this wasn't going anywhere, and whilst I was listening to it and whilst the song was getting more and more hyper, the only thing I was thinking about was how is this so long? This was very long, 3 minutes. They did bring a lot of energy onto the stage. It was well sung, but just the whole thing didn't work for me at all. And yeah, it was very hard to listen to this for 3 minutes.
So my view is kind of the opposite of that, because I wouldn't normally go for a song like this or something that's too overly silly, which is how this comes across to me. But the one thing this has is it's got 2 or 3 probably main hooks in the song that just have you singing along pretty much the first time that you listen to it. And it does stay in your head, whether or not you want it to or not. It stays in your head. And for me, when I saw this then performed for the first time, and they kind of sort of added in that kind of really kind of sort of hyper final kind of sort of 30 seconds, I was totally with it, and actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, Ervin, but I'm maybe just sort of slightly the other way around.
Well, let's score it out of 10. I'm gonna start with a 3. Joe?
For me, it's a 7.
Nikola?
3.
David?
Giving it a 1.
Oh, wow. We continue with Monika Marija and her song Unlove starting tomorrow.
Monika Marija has a lovely voice and I love the performance itself, but the song, it felt like I was missing something there. I mean, she wanted to portray some lovely and wonderful emotion because the song is so filled with great lyrics, and she sang it well, but it's just not the type of a song which I would be enjoying and which I would be listening to, because I just cannot relate. Maybe that's the thing, or just the fact that I wish that it was done in a more in a way which is more emotional. It could have touched me more, So anyways, it's not the song I enjoyed the most in the final of Eurovizija.lt.
See, I couldn't disagree more, because I did not expect to like this as much as I actually did, because the whole thing was very simple, but for me, this worked. Like, she sounded beautifully, and I loved that throughout the music, like, mostly the music is based on a single guitar with like an additional drum, etc. added throughout. And the lyrics of it like really caught my attention as well, because I feel like these are lyrics that everyone can relate to in a way. And on stage, she literally told the whole story, and I felt it like the camera could not work more into her favor. I don't know. I think I still need like a few more listens of this song to like completely figure out whether I like really like it, or I'm just gonna give up on it. But on a first listen, like, I was very invested with it. I really enjoyed it, and I think that's a pretty good sign. Monika, Marija, out of 10. Nikola?
5.
David?
Straight down the middle, 5.
I'm gonna give this one an 8. Joe?
For me, no chorus, no discernible melody. I love Monika Maria and all of her previous songs, but for me, this is a 1.
Wow.
We continue with Queens of Roses and their song Walk Through Fire.
Yeah, so I'm really pleased to see Queens of Roses back. Really enjoyed their crazy washing machine a couple of years ago. And yeah, really good to see them back. But this time with something that's perhaps a little bit less crazy. It's much more of a fairly kind of sort of standard kind of sort of girl band bop that, you know, we see so many times from so many different places. And it's well executed. They look great on stage, and their vocals, I thought, were better this time around than perhaps in Washing Machine. So they seem to kind of sort of really gel with this song, and they look to really enjoy the performance. And that rubbed off on me when I was watching. I really enjoyed it. I do wonder, though, if this is the sort of thing that the Lithuanian public would go for. So, yeah, we shall see how it fares on the night, I think.
No, I completely agree, Joe. I really like Washing Machine a few years ago, but and this is good, don't get me wrong, this is still definitely one of the best songs in the national final. It's a standard pop song. There's nothing really excellent about it. It is quite generic, I would say, but it's done well. Their vocals sounded good, their harmonies were on point, their choreography was well timed, albeit a little bit basic. I think the staging looked just a little bit empty during the semi-final performance, the heat performance. So I would want to see more from them in the final. This song sounds like it's something, and I mean this in the best possible way, that Girls Aloud would have released maybe 20 years ago. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think there's definitely a market for that. And I said, yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's good. It's a solid entry, and one that I won't be skipping. So not bad.
Well, let's turn that into points. Joe?
7 for me.
Nikola?
I really wish they brought crazy energy which they had while performing Washing Machine. It's a 5 from me.
David?
I'll give it a 6.
I'll give it a 5. Next up, we have Pluie the Comètes with Be Careful.
I'm really not sure what I listened to when I listened to this one, because I only know that I need to be careful for what, why, and for which reason. I don't know, because they repeated it 100 times, and even though it was so gentle and nicely, like, tried to be nicely done, it just goes off of me absolutely, and like the song and me are living into different realities. It just doesn't do anything for me. Sorry.
Whereas I like the kind of the artistry that this kind of brings. It's kind of sort of the antidote to, you know, things like VB Gang and some of the other things that we see. That it's just that soft. It's got a lovely melody to it, and yeah, it's something that's just a little bit different. And I think it's really well done. But I wonder if this is maybe a grower rather than a shower, because when I first saw the heat that this was in, it kind of passed me by a little bit. And it's only really from listening to the playlist, this one has started to kind of sort of really jump out at me as something that I really enjoy. So I wonder how that'll work for them on the night of the show.
Let's be careful and score it out of 10. Nikola?
1.
You're all throwing out your ones very easily. David?
I'll give it a 5.
I'll go with 3. Joe?
Well, for me, this is an 8.
We're halfway through and we're going to continue with Aistè and We Will Rule the World. Unfortunately, the only positive thing I can say about this one was that I enjoyed seeing her having so much fun on stage. That's it. And at the end of that semi, which I was watching live, I was shocked to see that she actually won it, because the song for me just sounds like a demo of like a B-side disco track from like the end of 70s. Performance-wise, the dance routine could not be more basic, and the vocals were literally all over the place. The chorus of the song didn't stand out whatsoever. The song remained just completely flat from the very first second until the very last one, and I just did not enjoy this at all, and I hope that Lithuania is not going to pick this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only thing I liked about this really was when it ended. To be completely blunt, I think always normally when a song qualifies, when a song gets through a heat or a semi-final, there's some objective reason as to why it would do so, whether it be it has an appeal, maybe it might not be for me, but it has an appeal. I look at this song, the whole performance, it was badly sung, badly choreographed, it looked a hot mess on stage, it sounds pretty dire as lyrically and instrumentally and musically. There really is nothing redeeming about this song or performance. I'm genuinely flabbergasted that people would pick up the phone and vote for this, and a jury would look at this on stage and think, I'm going to give that my points, because very rarely do I think a song is objectively bad, like no redeeming qualities. This one might well fit into that. You can't even say it's crazy, right? I don't like Kaboom at all, and I probably prefer this a little bit to Kaboom, but at least I can see why people would like that. I generally look at this and I'm just like, what? Like, why? Just how, what, where? Oh, awful. Sorry.
Well, let's score this one out of 10. I'm going to kick this off with something I haven't done yet this season. I'm going to give this one a 2. Joe?
So I love and adore the Scooby-Doo chaotic energy to this. But I recognise it has 0 quality to it. So I'm a 4.
Nikola?
It's a 1 for me.
David?
Give it a 2. Be generous.
We got to the 7th act, and it's going to be Il Senso with their song Time.
Yeah, again, another returner to the show. Il Senso always bring the vocals. They really, they belt this out absolutely perfectly. And I think it looks really good on stage as well. So I think they've got a really good presentation, really good sound. But for me, this lacks song a little bit. So I find the chorus perhaps just a little bit repetitive. And it seems like it's just some words and some music that's just kind of sort of put together to show off their vocals. I don't really get the sense of kind of sort of a story or a meaning or anything to really kind of sort of take me along with the song. So good for what it is. And, I can quite happily listen to them sing, but the song just doesn't grab me at all.
Yeah, I kind of feel that they were trying to make this song bigger than it actually is, because it all starts off very like theatrical and dramatic. And normally these kinds of songs I'm just drawn to, but here again, like I didn't feel invested nor interested in it whatsoever. As you said as well, Joe, like they brought the vocals, they were perfect. Their voices match amazingly, but I'm just missing a song here. And I also remember them competing in the past as well. And I actually remember that they were always getting loads of televotes in like the semis, etc., up until the final when then they crashed and burned. I wonder whether the same sort of pattern is going to happen here as well, even though this time they seem to have like a little bit more support from the juries as well. So it will be interesting to see how this one ends up on the scoreboard, but it's not for me. Time out of 10. Joe?
For me, I think I'll give it a 3.
Nikola?
5.
David?
5 for me.
For me, this is a 4. We continue with Shower and their song Impossible.
When I watched the performance of Shower, I really didn't think anything much about the song, except that it was lovely sung and that it seems like a song with lovely lyrics, and that's all. But that invested me into exploring further, and I watched the music video of the song, and I kind of fell for it completely, because the lyrics and the music video and the energy which they try to transfer was magical. And I would recommend to everyone to watch the music video, because it definitely has an amazing story, and it's something which needs to be done by mass audience, because I do believe that they have a broader picture of the song and the performance done by the music video, because I don't believe that the performance itself gave it justice. So all in all, it's a song I kind of enjoy more, because after watching the music video, I kind of listened to it a couple of more times after it. So it's stuck in my head at one point, and it's lovely performed and it's lovely done, if you ask me.
Yeah, I must admit I'm ignorant to the music video or the story of the song, so I can't comment on that. But looking at the performance and listening to the performance, I can't admit that I really like it. It's well sung. It looks okay on stage. Very dark performance. The song, to be honest, completely passed me by. If I listened to the whole semi-final in one go, and one after the other, and honestly, I was surprised when I came back and saw that it actually got through. It's competent, unlike Aistè. It sounds okay. I can see it's not objectively bad, but I'm just surprised again that it was able to kind of get through in quite. Is it 2 out of 8 or 2 out of 9 qualify, which is quite an extreme cut, right? And so I was surprised it came top 2, but it's okay. And Nikola, I'm going to go check out the music video after this, so maybe I'll like it more later. But for now, it's okay.
Out of 10. Nikola?
7.
David?
2.
For me, this is a 3. Joe?
And for me, it's also a 3.
Two more to go. We're continuing with the Roop and their song Simple Joy. Okay, once again, I'm going to start with the positives. So I love that they brought back their like signature The Roop choreography and their signature moves. And as always, and as expected, this was very nicely sung and very well performed. However, now the negatives. Like, I just can't find any substance in this song. Like, the whole thing is just like so bland. And I did not appreciate that in the chorus, I heard ABBA's SOS more than the Roop. And I feel like if this was sung by anyone else other than the Roop, this would not be getting even close to as much attention as it is, just because it's performed by them. And this is why it's getting as many votes as it is. And I also feel that, for me personally, this is their worst entry in the Lithuanian national selection of all 4 of these. I would love to see them back in Eurovision someday, but with a worthy song, and this is not one.
At the first listen, because I watched the song actually when it was released from the official music video release, and at the first listen it was like, okay, they're doing something different in comparison to the two of their previous victories at Lithuanian national selections. So I was not sure whether I like it or not, so I tried to give it another go. And when I listened to the song for the second time, I kinda tried to check out the lyrics also more, and and when I paid attention closely what is happening in the song, they kind of got me, because it's describing also a way how I'm feeling about certain things in life and the way things are functioning. So those simple moments of joy, and something which is also treasured by in the song and the performance itself, and even Vaidotas trying to be there and be present even though some bad things are happening in his life recently, also gives me a lovely and positive message of hope, and also a chance to be invested more, and to see that even though previously it was more about showing off and enjoying with the lovely tunes and lovely dances, sometimes we also need to like step back and try to enjoy the lovely moments which we have in our lives and we are surrounded with. So I do believe, if we are considering that as a huge aspect and the point of the song, I do believe that they succeeded in presenting that to the audience. Even his dance at one point in the performance, as much as people are saying that it's like a gimmicky dance because the song is very simple and everything, I would disagree with that, because I do believe that if you're feeling like you want to dance, even though something bad is happening in your life, you should do that. So it's like a simple moment of joy and simple moment of pleasure which you're having in your life, no matter how hard it seems at the moment. So definitely it's a song I'm enjoying even more, and it's a song I would recommend to everyone to listen, because I do believe that they need a bit more listeners in order to convey the lovely message which they're spreading with that song.
Now I feel bad starting the voting after all of these positive comments, because I'm going to give this song a 4. Joe?
It's a 4 for me as well.
Nikola?
10.
Wow. David?
No joy here. It's a 4.
Last but not least, we have ESCBubble with Luktelk.
Yeah, I absolutely love this song, right? So I have to admit, we have a guy that works for ESCBubble called Nick. So if he's watching this, shout out to him. He sent me the studio version of this before the semi-final, and I thought it was okay. It just kind of passed me by, right? He was going crazy for it, and I wasn't really sure why. It wasn't until then I listened to it again in studio after it qualified that I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually really, really good. And now it's been kind of a constant song I've gone back to listen to for the past 5 weeks. It's like an earworm. It's a lovely chorus. That thumping kind of beat in the background is really, really enticing. I really like it. I think the whole performance is slick. It's modern. It's professional. And I don't know what's happened in Lithuania this year. I think they've taken a massive step back in terms of quality and standard of their national selection show. But this is kind of the Lithuania of the past couple of years, right? This would hold up against the 2020s, the 2022s, where the selection was really strong. I really like this, and this for me is the only choice Lithuania has. They need to send this to Eurovision.
I agree, David, completely. For me, this is the one song and performance really that strikes me as being very much kind of sort of the complete package. It's Eurovision ready. You could pretty much just put it on stage as it is. And bearing in mind that this is just in this kind of sort of initial, semi-finals that we've seen it in the studio stage. It's yet to see the stage in Klaipėda, let alone in Malmö, where hopefully I would hope this would end up. But this just feels to me like it is just the complete package. It's ready, and people do seem to be responding to it as well. So it came really from the blue. I don't think Silvester is a huge name, so I think this is one of the first kind of sort of songs that he's released, and it just seems to be absolutely perfect for what they need. For me as well, it's a genre that I love. I love the synths, and I love that kind of sort of electro pop vibe, and I just think he does a really, really fantastic job with it. So yeah, I agree. I really hope that this is the song that Lithuania will choose.
Well, let's turn that into points. David?
Love it. I'm going to give it a 9.
I don't love it as much. I'm going to give it a 7. Joe?
I love it even more. It's a 10.
Nikola?
7.
As you can see, the runaway favorite of the four of us is ESCBubble. with 33 points, followed by Žalvarinis in second with 27, and Queens of Roses are in third place with 23. Now, this is all based on our personal thoughts and opinions, but let's try and predict now who's actually going to win Eurovizija.lt and go on to represent Lithuania in Eurovision in Malmö.
So I think SilvesterBelt will win.
I definitely agree on that, because I think it's SilvesterBelt to lose, because he literally got all of the attention, and he has a song in Lithuanian language, which is also a crazy thing to do with those beats. It's definitely a winner.
I would love for him to win, but I think that Lithuania are going to fall into the big name trap in the super final when it's televote only. So I think the Roop are going to win, sadly.
I think this is a little bit more open than you guys, I think, because I believe that this is going to be between SilvesterBelt, the Roop, and Žalvarinis. And in the super final, I hope that they're not going to go for the obvious choice, which is the Roop. And I kind of hope and I kind of feel that Žalvarinis might scrape through and win this by the skin of their teeth. Thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comment section down below whether you agree, whether you disagree with any of our thoughts and opinions, and also let us know how you would score each of these songs out of 10. Also, subscribe to our channel to be up to date with all of our upcoming reaction videos, as well as interviews with Eurovision and national final participants and more. I want to thank Joe, Nikola, and David for joining for this video, and we're going to see all of you very soon with our next reaction video. Bye, everyone.